All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for lesson 3.7, fraction word problems. So, please write down, I can solve fraction word problems. That means you can do it. I know you can. I know you're excited. So here we go. So, going to go over a couple things. When you're doing a fraction word problem, I know the thing that tends to confuse kids most is not knowing what to do with the numbers in there. So I just wanted to go over some keywords with you. Please know this is not an exhaustive list. Not every single scenario is going to be on here, but these are some good ones to keep an eye on about what you're supposed to do. So if you're doing a word problem, some keys that it's going to be addition. I'm not going to read all of these, but all together, combined, total. Those are some good keys that you're going to be adding those numbers. Okay? Subtraction words. How much more? Difference. Less than. Okay? Those are going to give you some ideas that you're going to be subtracting those numbers. Now, for multiplication, equal groups, multiply. Duh. Okay? Of. Okay? We've talked a lot about of. That means multiplication. Okay? And some division words. Equal parts, quotient. If you don't recognize these words, or if that's one of the things that throws you, you might want to jot some extra notes in your notebook. I'll leave that up to you. You know what you need or what you don't need. So, off we go. So, when you see word problems, I hope your reaction isn't the same as this kid's. And if it is, I hope it gets a little bit better for you. There's no screaming, no crying, none of that stuff. So here we go. So we're going to write an equation and solve. That's going to be an algebraic equation. Remember, that's going to involve a letter in the equation, and I'll walk you through that. You'll see that in my examples today. Okay? So let's look at this first one. Lexi puts some wheat flour into an empty bowl. Then she adds 2/3 of a cup of rye flour to make a total of 2 5/12 cups of flour. How much wheat flour is in the bowl? All right, so I got to think about what do I know in this problem already? Well, I see this keyword total. That means all of it. It means all the flour that's in the bowl is 2 5/12 cups. I also know that 2/3 of that amount is the rye flour. So that must mean the rest is the wheat flour. So how am I going to figure that out? Well, from an equation standpoint, I know that whatever the wheat flour is plus 2/3 is going to equal 2 5/12. From a problem-solving standpoint, I'm going to need to subtract this to figure this out because I can just take this amount away from this amount to figure out what the wheat flour is. So I can take the rye flour away from all the flour to figure out the wheat flour. So to do that, first thing I need to do is I need to have a common denominator because that's not going to help me at all without it. And since I cannot reduce 5/12, I'm going to have to multiply the other one into 12ths. So I just multiply the numerator and denominator times 4. Gives me a total of 8/12. I'm ready to rock and roll now. So, oh, look at the fun we get to have. Woo! We get to borrow. And wow, we're going to really push you back to Unit 1. No tears, no crying, no tissues, but we do need to borrow here to figure this out. So, I've got 2 5/12 minus 8/12. Well, 5/12 cannot take away 8/12, so I'm going to borrow 1 whole, which would be 12/12 in this case. So 12/12 plus 5/12 is 17/12. Now I can subtract 17/12 minus 8/12 is 9/12. Bring down my whole number, that's 1. Now I notice that 9/12 is not in simplest form. I need to move at another step. These both share the common factor of 3, so I'm going to divide them both by 3, and when I do that I get 1 3/4. Let's look at another one. We get 1 3/4 cups, problem number 2. Again, we're going to write an equation and solve. So Gibson, he's been hiding all the sugar apparently, but has a bag containing 5 1/3 cups of sugar. He uses 1/8 of the sugar in the recipe. Look, I see of the sugar. Of the sugar. Of. Did you see the of? Because there's an of there. Of. Okay. So if I look at that of, that tells me I'm going to be multiplying my numbers here. Okay. So how much sugar does he use? Well, let's look at the equation. The sugar equals 1/8 times 5 1/3. Okay. Oh, what am I supposed to do again? Oh, yeah, we just learned that in the last lesson. I've got to convert my mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay. So when I do that, I get 1/8 times 16/3. You can check my math. It's right. Okay. So what I notice right away here is that before I even multiply, I can simplify. Look at that. Okay. I can divide them both by 8. So I get 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now I can multiply straight across. That's going to be 2/3. Okay? So my answer is, how much sugar does he use? He used 2/3 of a cup. Now, after doing this and after you really start to work through the word problems, you probably start to feel like this. Oh, we're done. Okay, so here's your practice problem for today. Grace's walk to school is 1 3/8 miles. She has walked 2/3 of the way. How far has Grace walked so far? Okay, that's your practice problem. That's it, and we'll see you back in class soon.